Hi everyone, it's Jordan, and welcome back to OC Storytime, a series where I'm doing finishing touches on characters and then giving information about said character. In this video, it is a double feature, yay! For my OCs, Leighton and Tinsley. They are mage sisters born into a wealthy family in Great Britain, on their mother's side. Both sisters really love dancing and have a 10-month age gap between them. So in this episode, I'll be coloring and describing Leighton, and then I'll be doing Tinsley. I made sure to cut it up just for that. Now this is Leighton. She is the older sister, and she was born on June 17th, 7 months before Tinsley was born. An abnormality with her is she was born with two different eye colors, one light lavender and one like a mid turquoise. She is skilled at ballet, as she learned how to do it as a kid, and she is almost a master at the fiddle. While her father demanded that she learn how to play piano, she ended up picking up the fiddle instead. He was disappointed because that was the first time Leighton ever rebelled against her father, which is very unlikely of her. She is often known to be a very well-behaved kid. And Tinsley ended up catching her not really liking piano that much, like saying it under her breath. And Tinsley motivated her to stand up to her father and just say, no, I'm not going to learn how to play piano. As a kid, growing up in Great Britain, she grew up loving the snow, which would make sense when she figured out that she was a mage of water and snow, which means she was able to control the water and snow around her to her benefit, which makes her very powerful in the rain and the snow, as well as the ocean and lakes. She is known to be very kind and sometimes too kind. In fact, she was actually picked on in her elementary school years for being a goody two-shoes. Like if there was a fight going on in her elementary school, she would automatically tell the teacher. She was just raised too well. And she would often stay after class to like clean up and like the whiteboards and gum under desks, because students are known to do that. I'm a high schooler right now, and yeah, it's gross. So, as I said before, she was raised to be very well behaved and also careful, so she was very wary of the choice that she made, which is sort of a polar opposite from Tinsley, as she was known to like rush into things. And she started becoming more rebellious like Tinsley, but is still careful about her choices. And she's also sort of like a voice of reason for her, or more of an overprotective voice of reason for Tinsley. And she tends to get bashful around other people, which she gets a lot. And like boys would say, hey, those curls in your hair are really pretty, and she would almost automatically blush, cup her hands around her face, and then run away. Or if she actually had the courage, she would say thank you. And this happened a lot because her family would take trips to the city, and she would see like teenage boys like walking down the street. And her and Tinsley went to a private school, so they rarely like saw like boys like who would like ask them out, like who were like really confident to ask them out, because in their private school, boys were like too scared to ask them out because of their family. Yeah. She's known to be very naive, also graceful when it comes to her playing and dancing. She's very beautiful and kind-hearted, and that's what makes her captivating to to like boys. And girls alike, actually. She almost got into a relationship because of her captivity. And now we can move on to her younger sister, Tinsley, who was born on April 17th, almost exactly 10 months after Leighton was born. She is a mage of electricity and power. And by power, I mean like strength and overwhelmingly fast speed. She is very skilled at ballet and Irish step dance, which she learned from her aunt. Tinsley and Leighton's father was an Englishman from Great Britain, and his mother was Irish. So Tinsley and Leighton's father was half Irish. And his sister ended up picking up like his mom's Irish heritage and like learned how to Irish step dance. And she ended up teaching Tinsley, which her dad didn't really like because he said it was unladylike and unprofessional to do such a thing, and that ballet was much more graceful for a lady like her. And Tinsley didn't see herself as like a lady. She saw herself as a woman, like even as a child. She is known to be very rebellious compared to Leighton, and often protects her from like dangerous threats because of her strength and self-confidence. As a kid, she was very aggressive, which is the polar opposite of Leighton again, and is known to be very disliked at school because of her aggressiveness. She can be nice and a jokester in her best moments, especially with her friends. And she's basically a bad voice of reason for Leighton, and Leighton is an overprotective voice of reason for her. And basically, they're a good pair when they're on focus. When they're on topic and they know what they're doing. She doesn't take no for an answer. She is very persuasive. And she has that look in her eyes when she asks, "Hey, can I borrow some change?" And you ever end up giving her a pound. Because people found her very persuasive, pretty. And because of her prettiness, much like Leighton, she gets asked out a lot and like flirted with. But unlike Leighton, she brushes off attempts at that, or even tries to flirt back, but in a better way. Like if someone were to say, "Hey, you look cool, wanna give me a blanket?" She would retaliate in a way such as, "I don't know, I would prefer you to be the couch." And because of her tone of voice, and along with her take no for an answer attitude, the guy would end up either getting flustered or attracted to this, and she would keep going until they quit. And she would do this all the time, even in the city. In times where her father would just be like, "Don't do that. That's unladylike. Just say yes to the guy." And she's like, "No. He's gross." She's also very forward. So she speaks her mind. And she's pretty, much like Leighton, but in an intimidating way. Like guys are intimidated to talk to her. Much like Leighton is with her private school, like dude friends. And she's also clever, so she always finds a way to like sneak out of the house with Leighton and just have fun on the town. They love hanging out together, and they're just great sisters to each other. They're also great mages, as they look out for each other as such. And that is the story of Leighton and Tinsley. I hope you enjoyed them. Leighton and Tinsley have been in a lot of development since I was a kid, and I'll see you around. Peace.